onto the motherboard. So with that seated onto the new motherboard, you can then proceed to place that new motherboard into the empty chassis. And so you're going to take that and you're going to place it in. You're going to find out, you're going to have to find the exact locations of the mounting screws to secure the motherboard onto the chassis. Now, once you've removed the existing motherboard, you're going to see at the bottom of the chassis, you're going to see essentially their mounting holes, and it's like a little piece of metal that's elevated from the bottom of the chassis. And these things, they're grooved such that they can be placed anywhere along the rear or the bottom of the chassis. So you're going to have to align those with the holes of the existing or of the new motherboard to ensure that you can mount it onto the chassis. So once those have been aligned, you can then proceed to screw. You can then proceed to secure it back onto the motherboard by putting on the screws and securing it back onto chassis. And but prior to doing that, so you're supplied with what I sent you was this rear panel. It's this metal piece, and the existing metal piece that's in there may not be able to accommodate the new motherboard. So you're going to have to remove this on the rear of the chassis. You're going to have to remove this metal panel. And in the package that I sent you, I supplied the proper back panel for that motherboard. So you're going to have to put that in its place. And then once you've put the new motherboard into the chassis, you're going to have to secure that onto the rear, the back panel, and the holes aligned for the keyboard mount, the PS2 ports, the USB ports, etc. Then you screw it. You put all the screws back in. You secure the motherboard onto the chassis, and then you're going to have to hook up the power supply to that motherboard. And with that, again, those two cords that you took off initially, so the existing 24-pin connector, you're going to have to, this big fat one, you're going to have to mount this back onto the motherboard. Essentially, I also sent you the manual, so it'll show you the exact location of where that, it's a 24-pin connector, power supply connector that feeds the main board, so you're going to connect that back up. And then there's also a connector for the CPU itself. So that's the second one coming out of the power supply. And that's this, it'll be this smaller connector. This one is the CPU power. And that you'll hook up. It'll be located near the CPU, and it'll be located near the CPU. So you'll hook up those two, and that'll feed power to the board and to the microprocessor. Then the memory modules are already mounted. And the CPU should be set up with the fan. Power supply is hooked up